Namaste.
Pranam.
And
Jai
Ho. Welcome to the Bhais podcast. Why did we do this? Why do we see the importance of even doing this? Yeah. We kind of touched on it a little bit. But I think overall it's just that, one, we want to reach a larger audience.
That have these same thoughts.
Yes.
Because these conversations, the second we have these conversations, this influences the way that we spread the word, or spread Dharma.
Yeah.
And then all these other minds, they have these same thoughts and they're like, oh, wow, Panditji, I didn't know that. And then it just has you wondering, who else feels this way?
Yeah.
And so this is a big catalyst to that as well.
Absolutely. And one thing about both of us, why, we get along so well, is that we're not on the surface type of people. Like, we're not the ones that are just going to come and tell you, okay, do this, do that, and we go home, right? We want to be able to dive deeper into it. So this is what we do. We sit down. Either after a havan or a yajna or something, we're just sitting down and we're just having a conversation.
Just reflecting.
Yes.
And just zoning in on where we are, where we've come along in the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Understanding the mission is one thing, but doing what you can to stay on the mission, it's another.
And that's really what I think, by having these conversations, we can have open dialogue. And not dialogue where we're scared to discuss these topics.
Right.
Yeah.
Open air.
I think the reason for doing a podcast is, one, we reach more audiences, and obviously there's not enough podcasts out there.
Especially like this.
No. But there isn't any, I guess in a spiritual space, and also within the West Indian community. Of course, this isn't only for the West Indian community. I mean, we just happen to be a part of it. I was born in Guyana. You were born in New York, right? But you come from... your family's from Guyana. That's just who we are.
We're Caribbean.
We're three generations. Three generations removed from
the mothership,
the motherland, Bhumi Mata. But we still have that that connection. Through our Dharma,
through our Sanskars.
Yeah, through our Sanskars.
This is
absolutely
something that. We gotta do a podcast there eventually.
We do. There's so much to touch on. It's funny you mentioned that, because yesterday I did a havan, and I don't know if she'll watch this, but she was asking me, basically that her and her husband are looking to start a family, and the first thing that she said is that do we need to do I want to do a sanskar for when we shave the head. Right? And I was like, yeah, that's great. I'm so glad you're thinking about that, right? But you're like, there's like a few that come even before then, right? So then I got to tell her about the sanskars even before birth. There's 3 sanskars that happen before birth. But I guess maybe we can even start with, what is a sanskar?
Absolutely.
Right? What is it? And why is it relevant?
Especially in this day and age where... It's not something that you need to do puja for. Yeah. It's not something that... It's one of those things, for me, how I like to look at it, especially with our boy now. When we decided that we were ready to have a family, and I think we had spoken to you about it a little bit, when it comes to the Garbhadhan, the
number one.
The prenatal sanskars, right?
First one.
When you're ready, I like to consider it as 2 individuals having individual karma coming together, now building karma together, calling upon a soul that is calibrated and catered for those 2 souls to teach you the lessons that you're meant to. And so you're calling them and you're praying for their karmic baggage to be cleared. So when they arrive, just peace. And so that's just a big part of, this kind of encapsulates, but especially as a Vedic priest, it's something I'm sure you've seen. And what are some of the questions that you get?
Well, I think people just think that, they don't know about it. They know they're 16. If they know that they're 16, then that's a huge win, right? Some people just think that a sanskar is kind of, when you hear the word sanskar, you think of, something possessive, like your sanskars, or like what you inherit. And yes, that's important. But the sanskar is also, we say it's spiritual checkpoints,
Yes,
right? It's just
spiritual
like,
checkpoints.
as Rokesh mentioned, and number one starts the Karbadan even before that baby, is conceived. It's just the thought, the intention of wanting to start a family and having that alignment
through
between
the lens
two souls.
of God's grace.
Absolutely.
That's the main thing.
That's the main thing.
Right.
That's where it all starts. Like with everything, so many, every time, whenever we do a sanskar or any major yajna, we start with the sankalp. What is the sankalp? The sankalp is setting the intention. Right? Why are we here? Why are we gathering at this specific time, at this specific moment?
With this alignment with the sky now, as our witness.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much, and this is the scientific aspect of Sanatana Dharma. We get lost in the rituals based on, either just doing it or either the tradition or the superstition or the fear aspect of it. But this is the beautiful part of it, right?
Spiritual science.
The spiritual science of it, absolutely. So, oftentimes I find myself having to explain, the course of the sanskars. And it's like you go to school, right? You go to school and you graduate, one grade, and you move to the next, and then you keep building and you keep going up.
And that's why we use the word spiritual checkpoint. Like in a video game. When you get to one point,
absolutely,
even though you get to that point in the game where you no longer have to worry about going back to the beginning. You won't have to ever start over again.
Definitely.
And even if when it comes to sanskars, it gives you the ability to keep God close to you. I'm trying to find the words live and direct.
This too. It's not scripted.
It's not, this is all coming along, right?
Yeah.
But basically, they say sanskari, right? When you can look at a young person and you can say that, he shines through his sanskars. Yeah. That is just having God infused into each step of your life. From before, if you infuse God into the beginning of your journey, success is there for you and the rest. And so that's what this is basically doing. You're infusing the grace of God, you're surrendering your mind, and you're making these actions in honor of God, ensuring that whatever action comes from this is successful, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. No, it does. It really does. And, I think more so, our dharma, our scriptures, especially the Vedas, outline all these recommendations that you're supposed that are there, prescribed, already tried and true and tested, and it's just for us now to, the playbook is there. Do we want to execute the play, right? Do we want to put those things into action?
Use the blueprints that are there.
Yeah, exactly. We don't need to go construct new blueprints, right? They're already there, and they've been proven effective generation after generation. Yeah,
yugas after yugas.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Sri Ram did these sanskars.
Definitely, and not only that, the power of the sanskars is not only for you. It's not only for like that child, like a newborn. It's definitely for the parents that are 100% that are doing that. It's the child that passes down those sanskars from their parents and grandparents to future generations. And our script. Yeah, go ahead.
Just piggybacking off of that, especially for our generation.
Yeah,
and the younger generations that are already parents. Ages of privilege, right?
Yeah.
But more along the lines of my friends that I grew up with that are not so immersed in Dharma, but now that they have children, they know and they've seen what the sense of urgency was when it comes to having a connection with God, and wondering, what is it that I do? Is it okay that I do this now? I didn't do this. I didn't do this all my life, but I have a son now. I have a daughter now. Can I do these sanskars? And when you go and not to get into too much, but where some will say no, you can't. If your parents didn't do these sanskars, you can't do these sanskars,
and I think that's
a
unfortunate.
big misconception.
That's so unfortunate.
what it does,
Yeah.
like you said beautifully,
Yeah.
it's not just for the child, but for the parents. This is meant to help us propel our awareness towards, our own divinity.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really what the Sanskar is for. And so,
And the same way, right? You might not have done it. Your parents might not have done it for you. Their parents might not have done it for you. But I guarantee you, their ancestors did it for them, right? And that line and that lineage never gets broken. Even if it's skipped, you can always pick it back up. You can always pick it back up. And, it just goes to show, even our scriptures, they tell us that the effect of sanskars are latent impressions on to that atma, right? And I've got a yeah.
sorry.
No, absolutely.
I did that.
I've got a theory that I've had for the longest time, and I've never told anyone this. So now this is like the greatest. This is the most perfect time for this to come out.
This is how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. This is how it goes. So you know how for that same concept, right? Like your sanskars, what your ancestors did, what your parents did, from a spiritual level, get imprinted on the Atma and also future generations, right? What all of our rishis, like back in the day, all of our rishis were scientists, right? They studied the Vedas, they studied all the scriptures at a very high level, right? That's why we see so many of our ancient sages studying so high level in mathematics and science and all these things. The stars, absolutely. And so one thing that people always say, well, how are Indians or people who are Indian origin so good at mathematics and so good at science? How does it come so easily to so many people? You look across Silicon Valley, most Indian, they're CEOs, right?
Yeah.
Because they're good at math, they're good at finance, they're good at science. And I think my theory is it's because of all those sanskars.
Our ancestors.
Right, our ancestors set, again, the blueprint. And it's not just 1 or 2 or 3 generations, it's thousands of years over the course of time that have been, engaged in this spiritual practice. And it's really only, like if you think about it, it's only the past few hundred years that we've kind of drifted away from that.
Right. And it was all, remember, there's a lot of moving pieces with that too.
Yeah.
From the Mughals, like you said, to the British.
Yeah.
Doing whatever they can to eradicate that.
Absolutely.
From
100%.
our everyday life.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you have to really be proud and marvel at the fact that what we have right now is the bare minimum to what could have been. This is one of those things where there's substance to it, and imagine
100%. I mean, you look back at it, right? I mean, how much, they say that even the Vedas alone, like more of the Vedas have been destroyed or lost that's even remained right now. And that goes for so many of our scriptures, right? The idea behind invasions and also British rule, what was the first thing that they targeted? They targeted the Dharma. They targeted the education. They targeted the scriptures. And they knew that if they could adulterate, if they could remove, if they could burn down, Nalanda and Takshila and all these ancient, storehouses, all these storehouses of knowledge, that we will be able to control these people. And sadly, they were effective in doing that, right? They had this idea that, you needed to be a certain caste. And sadly for us, they were people, our own people, our own, religious people and our own kings and rulers that sought the benefit for themselves. And who suffered? The masses suffered. We had, people that didn't feel connected. They weren't given dharma. They weren't given the opportunity to learn.
It's a superficial life.
Yeah. And sadly, even like for us, as people whose family left India and went abroad, and even, to the West Indies, to Guyana, to Trinidad, to Jamaica, to all these, to Suriname, all these other countries, right? What kept them connected to the motherland? It was their dharma, it was their food, and it was their music. Right. And, my Bhaya that's how I got to know him. He is a super talented musician, can pick up anything and play it. And I know that being from his young age, Dharma and music went hand in hand.
Two sides of one coin.
Yeah.
Really the anchor.
Yeah.
That really started, I wouldn't say my spiritual journey, but it kept me anchored to the temples, to the mandirs. And that's also something that kept my awareness strong, that I saw that my parents and my grandparents, they had a connection to God.
Right.
And it wasn't just through sitting and praying, but a big part of it was being able to express yourself through music, through mantras, and through different channels that didn't just require your mind. But I also do firmly believe that could be a double-edged sword in a way. If the connection isn't there, the awareness isn't there, and you're just physically doing these things, then you're kind of stuck.
Yeah.
Kind of stuck in limbo. Yeah. But I think I went a little too deep with that little segue.
No, it's good. We can come back to that, and we talk about the greater. That could be episode 2, right, or 3, or whatever. We'll see where it goes. But no, I think going back to where our ancestors, they had this connection, and oftentimes, people from India will even say to me, and I'm sure they say it to you, is how are Guyanese people? How do they still have that connection
so deeply,
right?
Right, we dress up fully in our kurtan.
Yeah.
There it goes.
99, just 99.
It was just a matter of time before it came out naturally. But 99, 100.
Yeah.
And then you play dholak, harmonium, you sing bhajans.
Yeah.
And you guys chant all the mantras and you do puja all the time. My son, he goes to the mandir in jeans and ding, hello, car.
That's it.
We're probably going to edit that out. We'll see how that goes.
We'll see. It's the truth, right? I mean, this is what we do.
And not to knock our brothers and sisters,
absolutely.
Right? This is just something that our ancestors, when they got on that boat, they said, what is the most important thing to us? And what was it? It was their Ramayana, their Gita, their dholak and harmonium. They grabbed that. They held on to it. And throughout the entire ride, the entire journey, they didn't let it go. People didn't make the journey.
Yeah.
A lot of things didn't make the journey, but that was one thing that is still anchoring generations today.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know too. I mean, our thank you, our ancestors. And not just facetiously or superficially, but definitely thank you, because a lot of people don't know. They were promised the world. They were promised jobs. They were promised, all these different conditions and all. They were sold something extravagant. And oftentimes they got there, long hours, harsh hours in the sun, in the sugarcane fields. Even my grandfather, my nana, my mom's father, was a cane cutter for 46 years. So it's not like something that is only, it was a few hundred years. Rice. It's fairly recent. Rice and cane, and it was hard labor. And they had every opportunity to, be dejected and to give up and, leave that culture behind and try to find, a new culture or be assimilated into new life. And I'm sure a lot of them would have probably had more success if they had, changed their religion or changed their lifestyle or changed their beliefs, right? But they preserved it. And that's what I think made it so strong, and something that we are, in some aspects, we're desperately grasping, for this generation, trying to hold on to that. And like, we said that the previous generation hasn't done the best in allowing that foundation to be, that soil to be set to where those seeds can grow into new generations.
Right. It's not just at surface level. Yeah. But truly, absolutely, your identity. Yeah. As a human.
It's 100%. I mean, who who are you as a human, and how does your spirituality impact that? And not only that, how does it make you better? Right? Are you just doing it? Are you just going through the motions because somebody told you this is how you should do it, or this is how it's always been done?
Beautifully said. That gets a big fat jai-ho from me.
Yeah.
And, even to just your awareness or your understanding of your path.
Yeah.
Right? Many of us within the Puranic path, right? Ask question. Oh, don't worry. Hanumanji will come save the day.
Yeah.
Or, Prita Ganesh, he could, take care of everything. And what does that mean?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
At what age do we take it up a notch?
Yeah.
For this?
Yeah.
Because I've seen it in many of my contemporaries, many friends in our age group. They'll just wait for me to chant the mantra.
Yeah.
And then
what happens after? Right? No, but that's the thing, like we're always like everybody, and I think we've just become comfortable with getting told what we're supposed to do, getting told what we're supposed to believe, getting told, where we put this flour or what we put in the fire.
You spilled the water? Oh no.
Yeah, right. Or just there's the understanding. And I think one thing that I've learned, and since I've started this journey, and not only as a pundit, but also even as I started putting content out there, is that I see all these comments that people want the knowledge.
The thirst is real.
Yeah, the thirst is real. Yeah, for some chai and for some knowledge too. Cheers, Bhaiya.
We're right time.
Just chai.
Don't let
worry.
the chai get cold.
Yeah. We got to keep the chai hot. But that's the thing. People want the knowledge. They want to, but the avenues haven't been there.
Especially with all these moving pieces.
Yeah.
All these moving pieces. And, am I respecting my path, my traditions, my specific traditions? I'm Sanatan, but my family does Durgapat every year. And we don't do, whatever it might be. All these different things, right? This is why the mantras at the end are very important. Right? Mantrahinang, kriyahinang, bhaktihinang janardanam. Mantrahina, where I might not know the mantras. Kriya hinang. I might not know the kriya, all the different types of kriya there is to appease God in our path. And then bhakti hinang. I don't have enough devotion in my heart, worthy of your praise. And that's where they cover some of our bases.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's little segue there, but
no, it's a good point. I mean, we can dig further into that. I mean, what are some things that you think we can do now as pundits and as, people who are on this spiritual path, and people look up to you as they do with me, to share that knowledge and to kind of maybe chart a course that, it's right. We've been in this for a little while, and it's what we do. It's not about us. Right.
There is a sense of urgency that's been there.
Yeah.
And we want to let that out. We want to let that out.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to all these moving pieces, right?
Yeah.
I think our thing has always been trying to let everyone know of their own divinity and their own connection.
Definitely.
So you don't have to depend on being confused on, if I didn't do this puja, but I didn't do this havan, I didn't do this I got this gra, and we'll get to that point in another episode for sure, because there is importance to that, but at the same time, the confusion outweighs, what's the word?
The benefit?
Yeah, the benefit
of the growth,
spreading yourself so thin physically, to where there's no room for you to be able to focus and concentrate.
100%.
When you need it.
Yeah.
When you need God, and when you're going through any type of depression or going through any type of anxiety.
Yeah.
And sometimes we just need to sit there and take a breath. Mm-hmm. And that's also a part of our path. Meditation. That's something that is not taught. That's something that we're big on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Krishna talks about it in the Gita.
Yeah, definitely.
He says the direct way to God, the direct way to me is using your mind. You know, and so I think having that as an understanding that, hey, before you go to all these different things physically, you can have your baseline here first, and then that will guide you in what direction to go, if any other direction at all.
Sure.
What I'm basically saying is you don't have to do puja for everything. You don't have to physically turn to any type of those mediums for every little thing.
I think what you mentioned there is very, very important, because where you talked about not necessarily going, the way how I look at it from a Vedic path, and what we say is that God exists with us, and we find that connection not anywhere outside of the world but within us, right? And I understand that there are so many different paths and so many different forms of worship, puja being one of them. And I think that no matter what you do, I think whatever brings people peace, whatever brings people joy, I'm tired of saying that this way is right or that way is right or that way is wrong. Like, I'm not about that. Like, that's not who we are. Right? If you can find something that brings you joy and is connected to Dharma, then I think we all win. We all win, because at the end of the day, that makes you a better person. That makes you connected to God more. And that makes you on this path of Dharma, it's more meaningful. But I think regardless of what you do, even if you do something externally, you have to find it back to yourself. It has to have a connection within you. Else you're just doing it, or you're just going through the motions.
Yeah, physically just
right? And hoping,
performing actions. That
someone is going to answer your prayers. When, like you said, most of the times we can simply look
access
within.
Direct way, and tying back to Ekam Sat, the truth is one, but we're so blessed as human beings to have all of these different mediums, all these different paths that lead us right back to that one destination. And even to Krishna, Shri Krishna says it beautiful, or he expounds, if bhakti is not for you, live good,
absolutely.
Do good, think good, act good, share, do seva. All the different types of yoga.
This is yoga. Right? This isn't, yoga isn't you stretch up your body a little bit and you twist up and
it's great for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's also, that's just the physical. When you stretch and then there's room for that divine energy to seep inside of you and to propel this awareness, which is what Krishna says. He gives us a perfect guide on how to meditate, on how to directly connect consciously. And so
that is yoga. Yoga is to yoke. It's to join. Right? It's to join. It's the join. It's to find that connection. What are you connecting? You're not connecting your knees to your head, right? You're connecting here to Bhagwan, to that divinity.
And not only that, that's also something that will help you become aware of your own light.
Absolutely.
Which is the first step. You have to become aware of your own light that shines innately. Without you being conscious or not, your soul shines through you. And when you do what you can, this is why puja cannot spiritually develop you. It'll take, puja cannot, no physical worship you do can spiritually develop you. The mantras are great for the energy, but it takes true introspection. You got to be able to face whatever's going down truly deep within. And then you're able to get a grasp of the bigger picture. And then when you realize that through the meaning of this chetana, chidananda rupa, Shivoham, right? We are one, no matter what, even if we're conscious of it or not.
And that is that's one of the biggest things. You talk about being unconscious. What is one of the core principles of Dharma is to developing your consciousness, right? And because the more that we get caught up in this world, the more that we get distracted by Maya, right?
The more you get, it's like Fortnite.
Really? Where are you going with this? I've never played Fortnite in my life. Never.
Me and my Dharmapatni, Tanuja, big up
shout out
to my boss,
Tanuja,
the CEO of my operations. We play. I've got the PS4. She's got the PS5, and
Yeah.
we'll play. And the more and more we've been playing with our little cousins, and, nephews and stuff. And
Yeah.
when we're playing, I look at it, when I take a step back, I'm like, this is a very spiritual game. And it's one of those games where you spawn into a reality, a virtual reality.
Okay.
But you have
You take more to the...
technically you take Bart inside of you take Janam
Yeah.
in a virtual reality.
Wow.
So when we spawn into this virtual reality, you have only a specific set of space for items, right?
Okay.
So you're able to build things. You get wood, brick, and metal, right? You can only have a certain amount. You can only have a specific amount of things. So they can be either be weapons, it could be tools, but you have to make sure that you have the right things.
Yeah.
And there's a time limit.
Yeah.
And there's things that you've got to do before you get there. And before you know it, you get caught up in getting the best gun. You get caught up in getting the best items, the most, there's things that make the experience so much more fun, right? The anchor you deeper into it to forget about the time limit that you have.
Yeah.
And the storm comes. If the storm comes and you get caught up in the storm, then you
Yeah.
and that's what it is. This life, we're born into it. And if we're not prepared, if we're not consciously preparing with the right tools for the storm, we get swiped up. We have to have the right, because there's so many spaces. But if you're just gonna have McDonald's, Wendy's, you're not gonna have cash. You're not gonna have water. You're not. I don't know. That's just a little. We're in hurricane talk where you can tell where we are. But all in all.
That's a great analogy. Besides the fact that I feel like such a boomer right now because you had to explain Fortnite to me.
No,
but I appreciate it because now I know. Well, I'm sure. Hopefully, our audience will get that and they'll find that connection. If not, then you're in the same boat as me. That I had no idea about any of that. So thank you.
It's a really, really awesome game, but you can see why the kids are so deeply immersed in that as well. It's a whole realm that you respawn after every game, but you get so attached to being in there, right? Yeah. Which is why I'm able to get a sense of a connection to that game specifically. Yeah. Maya, we love all these things that make this experience at surface level, at face value, it's a great, grand experience, but half of it's not even necessary for us to truly, and this is where detachment and balance and fasting and being able to have that specific spiritual discipline, or not just spiritual discipline, but discipline in general,
So before we go on to you said something, I just want to know who's better, you or Tanuja, Fortnite?
Oh man,
she might watch this, but it's okay. She's not here right now. She's not here right now. Who's better?
Tanuja is better at the game than me.
Wink, wink. No?
What?
Really?
What?
Oh, okay. Let's go with it. Yeah. So if someone wants to, is that like where you can like invite someone to play? If someone wants, is that you want to share that?
Ask for my gamer tag.
Oh, okay. All right. Never mind. We're not.
but
we'll edit that.
No. We don't have to edit it out.
Yeah.
No, that was a joke. But but it's something that anyone can go on and you can play and try it out, and you'll see for yourself, parents. Get a little taste of what your kids are playing.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So you'll be able to have that sense of urgency for yourself. Why is it that my kid doesn't want? With all jokes aside, there's many stories that you see online and in the news that kids are spending their whole summer behind the game. It's because of that attractiveness to all of those. The instant gratification that they get, the dopamine levels are not healthy. No. And I'm, as much as we're gamers, Assassin's Creed, my wife Tanuja put me onto that. Yeah. All these it's something that gives us a taste of what's going on in the world right now with us. So just be mindful, parents. Be mindful.
It's a good thing you brought that up. Did you see about Akshay Kumar, where he was talking about, so his daughter, I'll probably link the story on here, but his daughter was playing some game. I don't know what the game was. And then all of a sudden, like, I think she was like 12 or 13 and she was playing this game, and she got this like message, like this random message from someone basically asking her, like, send her pictures, like, through this game. And he wrote up a really good thing, like, talking the same thing what you said, for parents to, you know, check in on their kids, to know, like, who's out there, who are they interacting with,
how are they interacting, random people in the world.
Yeah, it's scary out there, man. I'm all these things, you know, brings people connected and from all corners of the world, but at the same time,
you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know.
100%. So one thing you talked about, though, that I wanted to piggyback off of was detachment. And I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. What does detachment mean to you?
So this goes back to the discipline talk, right?
Yeah.
We know that too much of a good thing isn't really a good thing.
Right.
I'm not sure if that goes for everything, but pretty much for, you know, the main things in life: food, money. I'll take it.
Depending on how you use it, or how it motivates
the
you.
mindset.
How it motivates you, right?
Yeah, if you're not content with it, then abundance will never come.
Yeah.
And so that's where it comes to, you know, vrat, right?
Yeah.
Detachment.
Sure.
The things that we are partaking of, the foods we're eating.
Yeah.
The sense organs, right? The indriyas, right?
The indriyas,
There's the spiritual ones, there's the physical ones, but all things said, the things that make us comfortable on a illusionary aspect, on the Maya level, right? That just anchor us deeper into the Maya.
Yeah.
When it's time to, when you find yourself wanting to develop spiritually, that's where the vrat will come into place. You'll be able to detach little by little. That's where vrat comes into the detachment part. You're refraining from those foods that make you a little more comfortable.
Yeah.
You're refraining from those actions that, you know, anchor you to Maya.
Yeah.
Those thoughts, those words, all those things, depending on how you're fasting, right?
Yeah.
Depending on your vrat, whatever it is. And then after a certain amount of time, that's where I find the spiritual repercussions come from. It is the mantras that you're doing and the meditation and whatever, you know, offerings you make or whatever it might be, the action is great.
Yeah.
Is that chai?
Yeah.
But the detachment from those things that just kept you a little more anchored to Maya, into the physicality of the realm of Mrityu Lok, you know? Mrityu means the death.
Yeah, land of death.
And then Lok means the realm of this world.
Realm of death.
And that's what our scriptures call this place. And so, you know, just reminding us that this is a physical place. And while we're in the physical, detachment will help us keep that spiritual anchor strong.
Yeah.
And so
100%.
I think I went a lot of places. But
no, I think you touched on it. You defined it very well. You know, for me, I see detachment, and I'll tell you where I'm going with this, because somebody asked me something recently that connects to this. But I see detachment as, you know, what do we detach from? We detach from the things that are temporary. We detach from the things that can run out. You know, the money, the nice food, or the cravings, right? You know, the short hits of, like you said, dopamine, the short hits of instant gratification, the things that makes us feel nice for a little bit, and then when it finished, you know, we're looking for that next hit, or that next, you know, what is going to bring us happiness. And I think those are the things that detachment is focused on, the things that are more everlasting, you know, the spiritual connection, the love, the friendships, you know, those are the things that I think that helps us to elevate. And reason why I asked is, someone asked me the other day, because you know, they had lost somebody in their life, and they told me, you know, it's best that you don't feel love, or you don't love anyone in this life, because they're gonna leave one day. And they said that it's best that I just detach, you know. And one, that, like, really hit me here. You know, when you hear someone say that, it's like, man, that's one way to process grief, right? Is to have this awareness. But I always say that grief is the price that you pay for love. You know, grief is
Sadhu.
Right. Grief is that's the ramification of loving. And loving is so, at the end of the day, loving someone or sharing that connection in life is so much more than the grief. You know, in that moment, it doesn't feel like that.
Right.
But once, you know, sometimes the grief lingers. It might linger for a long time. It might never really go away. But what carries you forward is the love that you shared with that person. Whereas if you spend a whole life of not loving or not engaging in that emotion, then you never have that
experience
to hold on to. And even, you know, love in a sense, I think, love for the wrong reasons, or love, you know, short-term love, that is a focus of detachment too, right?
Absolutely. I mean, even with a little extra spiritual connotation, you know, you got to be looking at it at a karmic level too.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? I mean,
100%.
It's you got to be glad that you were, out of all the Atmas, you were the one that had this time to connect and to burn off the karma. Now you're able to move forward.
Yeah.
You know, without you having that connection with someone, you would not be able to be where you are. And maybe you're the one that helped them relieve that necessary karma to be liberated.
Definitely.
I think that's going a little.
That's pretty deep, but but you know, this is where we want to go, and we can touch on this later on. But at the level of, you know, just going one below the surface, I think for me, love is a spiritual practice. It's a sadhana at the end of the day. It's not just like romantic love that you share with a spouse, but it's also friendship. It's love that you share with friends. It's love that, like you said, with that Atma, if you find connection with an Atma that, you know, is beyond the superficial level, then there's a great connection to that. And, you know, a parent, a grandparent, an aunt, a cousin, you know, just a
really
friend.
fulfills your human experience.
Absolutely. That's what it's about. You know, I always say, you know, we come into this world alone, we leave this world alone, but what happens in the middle? Right? That's the dash.
The dash.
The dash you always speak about.
Hey.
But no, what happens in the middle? All right. Well, we'll get back to that. So
Join us.
Join us. And once again, thank you for, you know, watching this conversation. Next episode will drop soon. So please subscribe. Hit the bell icon in YouTube so you can get notified of future videos.
Whatever's going on.
Yeah, and just follow us on social media. You know, I'm on social media at Pandit Nial, and
I'm at Dharma Central, YouTube, and
we'll drop the links below in the description so you can follow us along on our individual journeys as well, and be sure to...
Any questions?
Yes, absolutely.
Any questions you've got?
Yeah.
We'll do our very best to, you know, provide informed answers, but this is what it's about. It's not just us speaking to you. It's a conversation. It's a back and forth to where we can help each and every one of us individually understand our place in this bigger picture and keep that unity, just keep that community strong and
alive and going.
Welcome you.
Yeah.
We welcome you.
We welcome you. Absolutely. So, namaste.
Jai Ho.
Jai Ho, and see you until the next time.
Thank you.